This is a potential opportunity for additional new growth in town and additional new recurring revenue. So not just one-time, free cash that we could use, but this would be a business, possible business opportunity for us to create recurring revenue, significant recurring revenue. We need to completely maximize our existing commercial space. We want to keep our conservation land just as it is, but if it's zoned commercial, we need to maximize it unless we want to vote for an override, which we've tried twice, and we all heard you. We're not going that route. I think of this not too dissimilarly from our current casino in town, right? This vote tonight would be a zoning change to allow for a grow facility to go into the zone that Chris will show you in a minute. There are a number of issues that folks have talked about with respect to a marijuana grow facility. I think the biggest one, from my perspective, that was talked about in our select board meetings was odor. And that was something to figure out, is that something that can be mitigated? And I'll just say this. Putting one of these facilities in place is a multi-million-dollar undertaking, okay? The town of Plainville already in its bylaws has essentially a zero-tolerance policy for odor emanating from one piece of property to another.
So he's got multiple ways of doing odor mitigation, which aren't in some of the older facilities or other facilities around the state. So again, one of them is close spray foam insulation, growing inside of containers and in other rooms, adding ozone things. These are all things we would look at as a special permit.
Basically, I've been to 5 different facilities in the area. Every single one had odor. Every single one.
Well, I beg to differ because I drove into the facility. I talked to one of the men that put the building together, and there is no smell. I was from here to the end of that wall over there, and I didn't have a smell.
We use a dog care facility, which is in the building adjacent to the facility in Franklin. Maybe 6 months ago, I pulled into the parking lot. I've been going there every 6 weeks for like 6 years. I pulled into the parking lot, and it smelled like a skunk had died in the parking lot. She's lost customers because they don't want their dogs out on those days that it smells like skunk. She's lost potential customers because they come to visit and it smells like skunk. She was very emotional about it.
It's great that you want to put teeth into it to shut them down if the scrubbers aren't working and the smell is there, but they're going to have much deeper pockets with attorneys, and they're not going to allow millions of dollars a crop to go down the tubes.
If we preclude ourselves from getting ahead of this and negotiating it with more of an upper hand, because it's not allowed there right now, are we saving ourselves, again, that we're in the infancy of this industry, that a court or the state could come by and say, we need to open up more areas for this to happen, and we get forced into something, and we have no bargaining power at all.
First meeting not in uniform for a long time, so I'm going to speak freely.
Uh-oh.
That's what you get. I look around the room tonight, and I look at the town, and I remember that we're not back to full staff. We're not equipping like we should. Borrowing Peter to pay Paul still a little bit. I see the schools in here. Fire department, police department. DPW is trying to fix the roads. The reason I'm bringing this up to you tonight is we can't keep saying no to everything. This is revenue, and if we don't pass this zoning tonight to give us the opportunity to explore this revenue, we're just shooting ourselves in the foot over and over.
If we get ahead of ourselves and try to spend too much and not live within our means, we're going to have a lot of problems in this town again. So,
all right, I'm going to limit you to this article if I can.
Everyone's preaching that we need this money from this zone. What I'm preaching is conservatism and live within our means, and do not try to make this town something we're not.
Those in favor of passage of this bylaw change, please raise your cards. Thank you. Those opposed to this bylaw change, please raise your cards. Okay, I think for my own edification, I'm going to have a hand count. It's fairly close. I think I know the outcome, but I want to be sure. So could I have my counters, please? And the result is yes votes 57, no votes 64. The article does not prevail.